Well, this is a little bit of an awkward one. We have the free-to-play for the most recent Guru event that dropped a couple of days ago over here on the NA version of the game, and this servant is kind of popular, but I think because we have that clairvoyance, that popularity has since diminished a lot. I mean, when Ranmaru first came out, I mean, not only did people like their design, they liked their voice lines, but she was an AoE Arts Avenger that came out after the Buster meta was moving in at full swing, and so it seemed like what Lasengal was doing, or I guess DW at the time, what they were doing was, okay, if you don't have the ability to do Buster farming, we'll give you a really good free-to-play Arts Looper, so you still have someone really strong to use, because, hey, she's an Avenger, they have very high attack modifiers, she's free to play, so she'll be free NP5, so her damage will be really good, but in all reality, we kind of got a mix-mashed unit. See, Ranmaru's kit seems like it's better used for more CQ difficult type content, because she doesn't have a whole lot of tools that are conducive to farming. I mean, you can still kind of make it work, as I'll show in the background of this video, but she's not going to be excelling at it better than, say, your Space Ishtars, your Avenger Kamas, you know, even Berserker Masashi's going to get better refund than she is. It's just that, you know, Ranmaru at least has the ability to use a battery, so maybe in some niche scenarios she'll be a bit better, but even that's a bit awkwardly placed on her third skill because it conflicts with other buffs that you want to use. So we're going to break her down in this video. Obviously, as a free-to-play, she's worth using. I'm not going to say, like, oh, is she even worth leveling up? Like, yeah, because of the double EXP that you get during these events and all the EXP cards you get for free, you might as well level her up, right? But I guess, is she worth even using? I mean, aside from the fact if you just don't really care for the Gouda stuff and you don't really care for her, like, appearance-wise or her character or anything like that, then no, there's really not a huge reason to use her, but maybe you want to know the nitty-gritty of why she's not really all that great. We're going to break that down in today's video, but before we begin, if you have not already, make sure you leave a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you follow that Twitch down in the description down below, because I am moving forward to trying to do streams every single weekday again, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, breaking it up a little bit. I'm thinking that Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are going to be FGO, and then I'm thinking about doing Tuesday, Thursdays as like other category games, like say Arc Nights, or maybe I'll do a little bit of Master Duel, stuff like that. Because let's be honest, FGO does not have quite enough content to be played every single day, unless you're a real maniac and you're bond farming, but I'm not that crazy yet. But let's start diving into Ranmaru's kit, starting off with her hits. And as you can see here, for a Year 6 servant, this is already a bit lackluster. I don't know who was cooking this servant in the R&D department, but their stove was not even on. I mean, sure, the quick card is fine, you know, 4-hit quick card, that's okay, but she's an art servant. We don't really care about that. Plus, her natural star gen is terrible at 6%. Her natural NP gain is really low at 0.45%, and for some god-awful reason, she only has 2 hits on her arts cards. I don't know who thought they were cooking with this one. Maybe they thought the passive 3% arts buff was going to be good enough, or the Avenger passives are going to make up for it, but dog, this is not enough. This is not it. This needed to be like 4 hits on these arts cards if you're going to go with 0.45%. This is really, really low to the point that you're not going to see that insane explosive refund that you've come to expect from like really strong arts units. And sure, Castoria can help, but she can only help you so much when your NP gain is kind of in the dirt and your arts cards aren't very great. Thankfully, the Buster hits don't really matter all that much. If you can get Buster crits off, they'll be fine regardless of the hits. And she does have the 5-hit extra attack, so at the very least, they got something right. I mean, something was done correctly with this unit, but it's already just not looking all that great from the jump. Then we start moving into some of her skills, starting off with skill 1 over here. This one's actually not half bad, because it is a targetable buff that debuff cleanses whoever you target it on, it gives them mad star weight for a turn, and a nice solid 50% crit damage buff for a turn on the low cooldown of 4 turns. Meaning if you feel like cracking out your Tamamo, or for some reason you want to throw Koyanskaya into your arts team, you can actually make this skill a little bit more spammable. And the fact that it is targetable and it's on a skill is nice for those arts teams, because maybe your Castoria got NP sealed and there's other debuffs you want to remove. Well, now Ranmaru comes to the rescue and she can actually remove that NP seal off of your Castoria, and then you can fire your NP and kind of proceed as per usual, right? It also allows her to remove NP locks off of herself, which is also good, because if Castoria debuff cleanses you using your NP, you obviously can't NP chain because your NP is already sealed, so it doesn't really hinder you in those cases because you can unlock your NP. Stuff like that is very, very neat. And I do like the idea of being able to give this to people, but this is kind of one of the better skills that she's working with over here. I do like it. I think it's very well built. I do think that Izumo, who has a very similar skill, had 100% crit damage. We probably could have given that to Ranmaru, but hey, at the very least, Lady Avalon does come out next year, and she also kind of fixes the arts crit problem by throwing in basically hero creation on an art skill into the setup, so it does retroactively get fixed. Moving over to her second skill, this is what I mean where she's better in more CQ style content. Now, obviously, if you're going to be using her as a farmer, you save this for the last node, get a little bit of extra, damage because you're lowering their defense by 20%. But you'll see a lot more value in this in bringing her to more difficult content because that is a 3-turn 20% defense down. Meaning, if you can attack the same enemy numerous times where they've got break bars and you get to take advantage of this, you'll see more damage through the long run, through that full 3-turn stretch, instead of just 1 turn for farming. Plus, you also have the AoE charm and the 10 stars, which the 10 stars I don't think is nearly enough. Like, I kind of gave Izumo a bit of a pass because she's a quick servant, but I do not know what bro thought he was cooking giving her the 10 crit stars. I don't know who that's for, if that's supposed to just make her a mad crit machine or something with that one quick card she's got with 6% star gen, but bros was cooking nothing. The AoE charm can be kind of nice though. If you've used Shuten Doji, you know that, having that AoE charm, it might whiff like one person, but it might snag the other 2 of them. That can kind of be nice and is technically some form of survivability. And we almost kind of have a salvageable servant here, but then the third skill I don't know what they were thinking when they built it this way. Obviously, you get the other 10 crit stars, so before someone was about to comment, but like, well, technically, she gets 20 crit stars from her skills. That's still really not enough. I mean, at best, you're guaranteeing 2 crits, which I suppose is kind of fine, but I would say that's borderline necessary to get those on the arts cards to make sure you're getting some type of refund. Now, they tried to help her out a little bit here, giving her a 30% arts buff for 3 turns. That's good, decent, solid damage, and it's buffing up her NP gain a little bit on those arts cards. But then why is the battery tied to this skill, the 20% battery? Because you want to fire this on turn 1 if you're thinking about using her as a farmer, because you need that additional arts buff because her NP gain is so low. But then that battery, if you've used Space Ishtar, if you've used Summer Ibuki on JP, if you've used Summer Kama, having that battery is a nice little security blanket in case your farm just missed a little bit of NP, right? And having 20% is very strong. I mean, that lets you whiff up to 80%, but she can't even take advantage of that unless you want to save this for some reason. But Lord knows you do need the arts buff because her natural damage is not very strong. I mean, she is pretty far down on the damage charts, and it's not like she's got any form of build-up. If we look at her NP, no form of build-up, there's no form of power mod, damage mod, no nothing, no power mod against burning guys, no battlefield buffs, no nothing. We just pierce defense, and we give ourselves a 100% star gen buff for 1 turn. But you know why this doesn't work? It's good on someone like Caskill, because he's got like 12 hits on his NP, so it turns his arts AoE NP into just a star bomb. She's got 4 hits on her arts AoE NP. Bro is not dropping any stars. Like, I'm gonna say best case scenario, you gas her up a little bit, you can maybe drop 30 stars, and you combine that with 2 of her skills, you got the 50 stars, and you get 1 big crit turn, and that's not gonna be enough. I mean, sure, I'm sure you can go around and just find different videos of people being like, I was able to take my Ranmaru to go fight Kiara, and I was able to win. But for one, everybody seems to be able to beat up Kiara at this point in the game. I don't think that's all that special. Go beat up big Kiara, and then we'll kind of consider that a real feat that you're doing. But second of all, it's just not a good free-to-play unit. I mean, we just got Ruler Da Vinci, for instance. Ruler Da Vinci is actually a solid unit that can help people's boxes out as kind of being this free-to-play support, that if you don't have anybody else, at least now you have Waver and Ruler Da Vinci, who can kind of function as like a little bit of a plug suit servant for any box if you're lacking better supports, right? She at least has some value. She's good in more limited quests as well, like battlefields and stuff, where you can kind of have extra guys running around that are a DPS and a support. Very nice for that Towers event. Can be very good for that stuff. But Ranmaru just does not have a place, and they've almost just kind of left her to die out here. She has not been touched in any way. No buffs, no nothing. Just left high and dry with no real purpose. I mean, I do not know what little Timmy guy they put on charge of this servant to like make them, and they were like, this is good, especially because we know it takes them like what, 6 months to like make these units with like designing their lore, mapping them out, and then building their kits and everything. I can't imagine you spend 6 months and this is what you drop for the free-to-play players. It is such a disappointing servant, and for that reason I just gotta slap her with like a C-. I don't think she fails, but she is real close. If you're getting this math test back, you're getting like a 71. Like, you're bordering on that failing grade. Although for my EU viewers, I know you guys go down to like 50%, so just kind of whatever the equivalency of nearly failing is, you know, just kind of translate it that way. But realistically, if it's not in the US, it's not a real grade. Am I right, fellas? Am I right? But on the real, she's just not a great servant. If you really like Ranmaru, you can try to brute force her and try to make her work, but you're just going to see much more success in people like Sabra Hokusai, going after your like Chloe's if you want a DPS. And if you want a looper, we've got Habitrot, we've got Jason, we've just already got good free-to-play options who just do her job better as either a DPS or as a farming servant. So I just can't really see a reason to use this servant outside of like maybe leveling them up to get the level up rewards next time we have our anniversary and they give us all the stuff for that. And that's really about it, just like an extra rare mana prism when the next anniversary hits. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on her, but I've just not been impressed with this servant over the last almost 3 years now that we've had her over on JP. And you know, her coming to the NA version of the game has not really changed my mind on that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace late, guys.